Good morning, our lovely students. Yesterday we took OL Story, Treasure Island, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. We took that we have someone called Jim Hawkins. He's a small boy. He's working with his father and mother in the Admiral Benbow Inn. One day a captain came and stayed there. Sailors came searching after him. They wanted something from him, some papers and money. And they didn't kill the captain, but he died before they reached him. So Jim and his mother took the money that the captain owed them, and they did what? Jim took papers that had a plan, had a map for a hidden treasure that the captain or Captain Flint had hidden the treasure on this island. And he went to Dr. Livesey, who went to Dr. Tillenway, and they decided to go searching for the treasure. Jim saw someone called Silver, Long Silver. He's the one going to be the cook on the ship, and he found most of the crew for the Hispaniola. The boat that the ship that they are going to sail with is called Hispaniola. Let's start with chapter 3. Why were the 8 men searching for the paper when they went to the Admiral Benbow Inn? Why were they searching for the paper? They didn't care for the money. Why? Because the paper has the map to a very big treasure. If they found it, they will be very rich, filthy rich. It's the boy and the woman from the inn. What did the blind man mean by this sentence? What does he mean? He means that the man and the woman from the inn were the people, these two were the ones who took the map. They have the paper that they are searching for. How were Jim and his mother saved from the 8 men? How they were saved? Dr. Livesey came with horses and everything, and policemen. Sorry, not Dr. Livesey. Mr. Dance. Mr. Dance came on horses with the police, with the boy from the village. The boy from the village went to the policeman, and they told them everything, told the police everything. So the boy and the police came to save Jim and his mother. Why did Jim want to give the papers to Dr. Livesey? Why? Because he thought that these papers were very important, and the men, the pirates, were searching for these papers. So Dr. Livesey, who is the magistrate of the town, he is the one who will know what to do with it. What did Mr. Tranway think? What did Mr. Tranway think they should do about Captain Bill's paper? What did he think we should do? He thought that they should go and search for the treasure for themselves. But Dr. Livesey said we have to take Jim's opinion, Jim's permission first. What do you think will happen next in the story? What do you think will happen here? Will they go for the treasure? Let's see. The next morning, Mr. Tranway asked me to take a note to Long John Silver. I went to the inn which Silver owned. It was full of people, but I soon saw a tall, strong man with one leg. He looked very happy and seemed to know all of the people there. I walked up to him and gave him the note. When he saw that it was from Mr. Tranway, he looked surprised and said, "Ah, you must be the new ship's boy." At that moment, one of the men in the inn quickly left the room. I saw that he had 3 fingers on one hand. "It's Black Dog," I called. "Stop him." "Yes, stop him. He didn't pay for his food," called Silver to one of his helpers. The helper ran after the door. Do you know that man, Black Dog, is it? Silver asked. Yes, he was one of the men who attacked my home. Did Mr. Tranway tell you about that? I replied. Ah, yes, I have seen him in my inn before. He sometimes comes with a blind man. So Jim went to the inn where Long John Silver works there as a cook. He will be the cook on the ship's cook. Okay, so he went there and he saw Black Dog. They tried to catch him, but they couldn't. Okay, the blind man is called Pew. I said he was with Black Dog when they attacked. Then we must catch them both, said Silver. However, the helper returned and said he couldn't catch Black Dog. Well, we must return to Mr. Tranway. We walked back along the harbor, past boats of different sizes, all preparing to go to sea. Silver told me all about the boats, and I knew that he was a great sailor. We found Dr. Livesey with Mr. Tranway when we returned to his hotel and told them about Black Dog. There is nothing we can do now, said Tranway. We leave at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Get your hat, Jim. We will go on the ship now, he said to me. What the meaning of harbor? Harbor, a place where ships may stay. It's like a port. Okay? So, John and Mr. Silver went to Mr. Tranway at the harbor and they told him everything. So when they knew Mr. Tranway, he said, we have to leave now. It took some time to reach the Hispaniola. When we walked onto the big ship, the captain, Smollett, didn't look happy to see us. What's the problem? Asked Mr. Tranway. I don't like the men on this ship, and I'm not happy about where we're going, he said. Why not? Asked Dr. Livesey. I was told that the destination of the journey was a secret, he explained. But the crew tell me we are looking for treasure. I know that looking for treasure always means danger. And when I go on a journey, I like to be able to choose my own crew. Don't you like the crew we chose? Asked Tranway. If I sail with them, I want to stay at the front of the ship for all the journey and to keep guns with you and don't show anyone the map, said Smollett. Are you worried that there will be a mutiny? Asked Dr. Livesey. It's my job to keep you safe. That's all, said Smollett, and walked to another part of the ship. What's the meaning of mutiny? Mutiny. Mutiny, do you know in the ship, the captain of the ship, it's like the president of the country. It's like the king of the country. His orders and words, it's the final words. Mutiny, when all the crew stand up together and say, no, we don't like this captain, and they overcome his authority and take the ship for their own, and they appoint another captain. So this is mutiny. It happens in the army, and the punishment for mutiny is death. So Mr. Smollett is very worried. Why? Because he doesn't trust the crew. The crew that he has on the ship, he doesn't trust them, and he thinks there is something wrong. And he's a wise man. He knows that everyone now, it's not a secret, everyone knows that they are looking for a treasure. And looking for a treasure means danger, because pirates will search for the treasure, okay? And they will kill them for it. I think you have two good men on the ship, said Dr. Livesey. That's Long John Silver and the Captain Smollett. I know Long John Silver is a good man, said Mr. Tranway, but I don't think Captain Smollett is. I agreed with Mr. Trenway. I didn't like Captain Smollett. The Hispaniola finally left Bristol, and our long journey began. Silver was able to talk around the ship on one leg, to walk around the ship on one leg, using only a crutch. What's the crutch? A crutch is the long stick that you put it under your armpit. When you put it under your armpit, you can lean on it because you can use it as the second leg. All the men liked him, and he was a good cook. His kitchen always clean. When he wasn't working, he looked after his parrot. He called it Captain Flint and said it was 200 years old. The parrot could talk too, which always made me laugh. One night, before I went to bed, I decided to eat an apple. The apples were kept in a big barrel, which I climbed inside because it was nearly empty. Before I left the barrel, I heard a man talking nearby. It was Silver, and what he said was terrible. So, Long John Silver is the cook of the ship, and he's an amazing cook, and his kitchen is always clean. He's walking around the ship fine. He has a parrot on his arm, and he called it Captain Flint. Apparently, a crutch, a support typically fitting under the armpit for use by disabled walking. Barrel, it's a round bulging vessel that's usually made for storing goods, to store goods. The barrel is very big. It's like half man size. Let's say 2/3. It's very big. We use it to put sometimes wine, sometimes apples, like the one that our hero Jem crawled into. He climbed inside because it was nearly empty. Okay, he heard something terrible. On that journey, Flint was the captain, he said. It was then that I lost my leg and Pew became blind. Who's talking? John Silver. For that journey, I bought a lot of money in the bank. It was a great journey, and most of the same crew are on this ship today. What's the scene right now? There is a big barrel of apples. Jim is inside the apple. Sorry, not doctor. Silver is standing beside the barrel. He came and stood beside the barrel. He's talking to someone else, and he's saying what? On that journey, Flint was the captain. He's talking about the captain who died, the one who drew the map. It was then that I lost my leg, and Pew became blind. So the blind man, John Silver knew the blind man. After that journey, I put a lot of money in the bank. It was a great journey, and most of the same crew are on this ship today. So, this is the captain's old crew, and most of them are on the ship. You won't be able to return to Bristol after this journey, said another sailor called Dick. What will happen to your inn? I have sold it, said Silver. My wife has the money and is waiting for me to return in a secret place. And after this journey, you will have lots of money too. So they are planning to steal the treasure. Another man joined them and said, I am tired of waiting. When can we attack Captain Smollett? You must be patient, said Silver. Trenway has the map, so we wait until they have found the treasure. We might also want Smollett to take us home before we attack. We shouldn't wait that long, replied another sailor. You're like the others, said Silver. You want to do things quickly. That's what Pew and Flint wanted to do. What happened to them? Pew's blind and Flint is dead. I began to realize that Silver wasn't only a cook, but he was also a pirate, and the other crew were part of his gang. So what was the price of not keeping a secret? Glenway, he said we should keep it secret. He didn't. While he was gathering for the crew, he told everyone that we are looking for a treasure. Everyone on the ship knew that they were looking for a treasure. And they hated Captain Smollett because he was suspicious of the crew. Now he is a trustworthy person, and the one that they trusted, which is Long John Silver, is the one who is a pirate, right? Okay. No, we wait, continued Silver. When the time is right, I will kill Trenway and his friends. Now, Dick, can you get me an apple? Uh-oh. Where will he get an apple? When I heard these words, I was very frightened. However, before Dick came to the barrel, I heard another sailor call out, I can see land. It was this news that saved me, because the sailors now all forgot about apples. We were near the treasure island. Pirate, one who practiced robbery on high seas, and gang, a group of persons working to unlawful ends. They are a group of people working together to take money and wealth in unlawful ways, using unlawful ways. Okay. Chapter 4. Does Captain Smollett trust his crew? No. How do you know? At the beginning of the journey, he asked Trenway to stay on the front of the ship the whole journey and to have a gun, and not to let anyone look at the map. Do you think Trenway and Jim's first impression on Captain Smollett was right? No. Why? Because at the end, he was proven to be right. The crew wasn't trustworthy, and his intuition was right. Who was Captain Flint? Captain Flint was the captain who stayed in the Admiral Benbow Inn, the one who stole the treasure from the pirates and put it on the island, buried it in the island and ran away. Silver and Pew were old friends, except Lane. They were on the first journey that was led by Captain Flint. What is Silver's secret plan on the Hispaniola? What was his secret plan? He wanted to wait until they found the treasure, then he will kill Tranway and everyone else, and he will take the treasure and go back. You want to do things quickly. What does this quotation tell you about Silver's character? That he's a very patient man. He's a cunning man. He's cunning. He likes planning and everything. Jim's luck saved him from Silver and his men. Jim's luck saved him from Silver and his men. Explain. He was in the apple barrel, when he heard the whole plan of John Silver and his sailors. One of the men were going to the barrel to take an apple, and he was going to find him. But thanks to his luck, what happened? Some sailor shouted, land, land, so he was saved. Everyone forgot about him. In chapter 3, Jim learns that there are pirates in the crew. What do you think he does next? What do you think will happen? Who will he run to? Dr. Livesey, Trenway, and Captain Smollett. Okay. I heard people running to look at the island, and I quietly climbed out of the barrel, and I then walked up to join the sailors at the side of the ship. We could see 2 low hills and 1 big one. The island was now very close. I have been here before, said Silver. I know where the ship should stop. I have a map here, said Captain Smollett. Can you take us to that place? I saw that Silver was excited to take the map, but it wasn't the one with the treasure marked on it. Silver, I have a map here, said Captain Smollett. Can you take us to that place? I saw that Silver was excited to take the map. He took the map from Captain Smollett quickly, and he was excited. But when he looked at it, it wasn't the map that had the treasure, not the map of the treasure. Yes, I can see it. You must go here, he said, pointing to the place on the map. Then he turned to me and said, you will love this island. You can swim and climb trees and walk up the hills. I smiled at Silver, but inside I was very frightened of him now. I couldn't trust anything that he said. I soon found Dr. Livesey and quietly said to him, I must speak to you, Captain Smollett and Mr. Turnway. I have some terrible news. Dr. Livesey's expression didn't change. He asked me to find his glasses downstairs and walked off to talk to Mr. Tranway and Smollett. I waited downstairs and soon the three men joined me. Dr. Livesey was a wise man. Okay? Why? When he said I had terrible news, he didn't show any expressions. What do you want to tell us? Asked Mr. Tranway. I told them everything that I had heard in the bar. When I finished talking, they thanked me. Captain, said Mr. Tranway, you were right and I was wrong. What shall we do? I am surprised too, said Captain Smollett. They have worked hard and been a better crew than I expected. Now we must continue. We can't go back, or they might attack us immediately. I don't think that they will attack us until we find the treasure. Long John Silver didn't find all of this crew. So some of the men are good men. We must wait, watch, and attack them when they don't expect it. So what was Captain Smollett's plan? To wait. He wants to differentiate between the pirates and the good sailors. Why? He wants to leave the pirates and take the good sailors and take the ship and leave. Jim can help us, said Dr. Livesey. The men all trusted him. We can listen and find out who we can trust. I didn't like this though. I counted the men that Silver didn't find for the crew. There were 7 from a crew of 19, and I was one of them. The next morning, the Hispaniola stopped close to the island. There were many trees, and above the trees, I saw the rocky tops of the hills. Silver helped Captain Smollett to sail the boat closer to the shore. It was very hot and very quiet. It smelled like bad eggs. This place is only good for diseases, said Silver. The crew worked hard on our journey to the island, but now they didn't seem to want to work. I remember Dr. Livesey talking about some mutiny. Perhaps it was near. Only Silver worked as hard as usual. Later, Captain Smollett told us that he had a plan. Let's ask the men if they would like to spend the afternoon on the island. If they go, we can take the ship. If they don't go, we know we need to fight them for the ship. Mr. Tranway agreed. We decided to tell all the men we could trust about our plan and gave them all guns. Captain Smollett then told the crew that they could all have the afternoon on the island to relax if they wanted to. When you hear a gun at the end of the day, it will be time to go back, he said. All the crew suddenly looked happy and they all agreed to go. Perhaps they thought that they could find the treasure immediately. Captain Smollett asked Silver to organize the men. 6 men would stay on the Hispaniola, and 13 would take the small boats to the shore. I realized that there were 6 of Silver's men on the ship. The men in our group would not be able to take the ship, so I decided I would go with Silver onto the island. I got onto one of the boats quietly, but Silver saw me. Had I made a mistake? All of this are Jim's journals. Diary. The boat I was in was fast, and we were nearly on the beach first when I held into the branch of a tree and jumped out of the boat. I heard someone calling me, but I didn't listen, and I began to run as fast as I could. When I stopped, I felt happy. Silver didn't know where I was. This part of of the island was open, with just a few trees. I could see the hills in front of me. As I walked, I saw pretty flowers, snakes, and small birds. Suddenly, a cloud of birds flew into the sky and knew that something was coming towards me. I was correct because I then heard people talking and I decided to hide behind some trees. What's the the landscape right now? What's happening right now? On the ship, there was Dr. Livesey, Captain Smollett, and Mr. Turnway, and 6 men from whom's crew from the pirates, from Silver's pirates. Okay, the 6 men that Jim wants to search for are on the island. Jim, he hid himself on the small boat and went with Silver and everyone and all the sailors to the island. He ran away, but now he heard someone coming. I realized that one of the people was Silver, but I couldn't hear what he was saying. Soon the birds returned, and I knew that the men had gone. I told myself that it was my job to find out what these men were planning to do. So I decided to follow them. Without them seeing me, after a few minutes, I saw Silver and another sailor talking near a beach. I want you to join us, Tom, because I know you're a good sailor. I am telling you I'm telling you this to save you, said Silver. So what Silver is doing right now is trying to take the 6 men into his side. He wants to make them pirates. Silver, Tom replied, you're a good man, and you shouldn't work with these pirates. I would prefer to lose my hand than work with them. I knew then that here was a man that we could trust. Then came news of another. I suddenly heard a terrible shout, then all was quiet. What was that? Said Tom. Silver smiled and said, That? Oh, I think that was Alan. Alan? Cried Tom. He's a good man. If your men have hurt him, you and then you are no friends of mine. I wouldn't help you. Tom began to walk away from Silver along the beach. Silver suddenly threw his crutch at Tom and it hit him hard on the back. He fell to the ground, and before he could stand again, Silver killed him with a knife. So Silver's crew started killing the 6 sailors or the sailors that Silver doesn't trust. Silver now blew a whistle, and I knew that more of his men would soon arrive on the beach. I was very frightened. I walked quite quietly back into the trees, then ran as quickly as I could. As I ran, I began to think, what could I do now? When we heard Captain Smollett's gun, could I go back to the beach to be with these men? If I did, I knew that they would kill me. I would have to stay on this island forever. Okay? And that's it. Okay. This is chapter 3 and 4. Now we have stopped that all the crew went to the island. They are there. They are just waiting to search for the treasure. They want the map. But before searching for the map from killing Captain Smollett and take it from Mr. Tranway, what did they do? They started killing the people who could help them. They killed the sailors, the good sailors. Okay, and now they will try to go to the beach for the map. That's it for today. Good luck. See you next time, inshallah.